Public Affairs Analyst Jide Ojo joins me for more. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News at 7. $52.88 million to be repatriated. What do you make of this deal and the projects it is to be expended on?
Thank you very much, Abosede. It's an heartwarming news, and I'm happy that once again, just like it happens in the case of Abacha loot, the Nigerian government is up and running and in getting some of the looted funds back into the ecosystem. However, I have some worry when we are being dictated to as to what to do with these stolen funds. And how are those rural communities, how are they selected? The communities that will benefit from the rural electrification project. How did they select them? When was the bidding? What were the criteria? So we need more transparency in terms of how these selections were done. And then in terms of the IIJ, International Institute of Justice, it's a welcome development. Anything that will promote rule of law and counter-terrorism is a welcome development. But I think, Abosede, my greatest concern is how do we stop this looting? And indeed, if we are able to stop this looting in the first place, there will be no need for repatriation. So we need to put more structures in place to prevent looting of our common patrimony. And you know, the issue of stopping looting is actually one of the questions I had planned to ask you. But since you have just, treated that already, let's talk about the next concern, which is the implementation of this project. And of course, it's a major point that even the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria raised. How do we ensure that these funds are not relooted? Interestingly, from what I've read and what your reporter in Abuja here has pointed out, this money is not coming into the hands of the federal government of Nigeria. It's being channeled through two bodies, the World Bank and then the IIJ. They are the ones that will expend these monies. $50 million will go to the World Bank, and the IIJ will get $2.88 million. What Nigerian government will just be doing is oversight. And I think we need to involve the media and civil society organizations, not just Ministry of Justice or Ministry of Finance. We need to have independent oversight. I know the National Assembly is also poised to oversee how these funds are going to be expended. We have the relevant committees of the Senate and House of Reps, but beyond the ministries, department agencies, as well as the National Assembly, we need the oversight of the civil society and the media so that issue of relooting the loot does not arise. And like I said, a safeguard measure has been put in place, which is the World Bank is the one that will receive the funds, that will disburse the fund for $50 million for rural electrification, while the IIJ is the one that will oversee the disbursement of the one for rule of law and counter-terrorism. All right. And to the point you raised earlier, what strategies would you suggest we adopt to proactively prevent these funds from being taken out in the first instance? It shows that our efforts are yet to be foolproof. I must acknowledge that over the years, there have been several measures, including legal reforms. For instance, we have the Process of Crime Act, we have the several others that I cannot easily recall. In fact, even the mutual agreement for bringing back foreign loot. These are part of the efforts of the previous administration of Muhammadu Buhari. We also recall that there have been technological innovations like the BVN number, that's the bank verification number, the NIN, National Identity Number, as well as the use of several other technological measures. But I think it's still not foolproof because You could see what happened with the former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, who is currently answering charges for over 100 billion naira. How did he manage to still get this money into his private pocket, despite the IPPIS has been touted as a game changer in terms of weeding out ghost workers and all of that? And so it brings us to the human element, the human attitude. We need to work on our psyche, because in spite of whatever innovations we may put in place, no matter the law, no matter the legislation, if the human mind still wants to be corrupt, you can't stop them. That's why, in spite of all measures, we still have high level of bank fraud, despite the computerization, the digitization, and all of that. So it's a work in progress, but we must acknowledge that efforts have been made since the time of the Diezani Alison-Madueke to now. Several other measures have been taken, and we need to continue to work to strengthen those measures, institutions, legal reforms, policies, to make sure that we prevent corruption, not just fighting it, but
public affairs. All right. Public affairs analyst Jide Ojo, thank you so much for your time on TVC News at 7.
It's my pleasure. Do enjoy your weekend.
You too.